Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown, and today we are breaking down the Christmas Battleforces that were just revealed on Warhammer Day. And this time, Age of Sigmar, the Mortal Realms.
Yeah.
There are only 4 for this one because obviously 40k is a bigger deal, more popular, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Or if you didn't watch the other one first, we did 40k. I don't know which one's going to come out first. Probably the 40k one.
Aren't you editing these?
I can't say those kind of things. Only Josh and Mitchell can.
Oh, okay.
Probably going to be the 40k one first. So if you're just now viewing in, we're also going to have a 40k one in
Put it
the corner somewhere. But this one's the Age of Sigmar, like he said. There are 4 boxes this year. We've got the Cities of Sigmar, the Flesh Eater Courts, Ironjawz specifically, and the Maggotkin of Nurgle.
one for each Grand Alliance, because you know they had to. It was very funny because I think last year they just didn't do a death one.
No, they had 2 death ones last year.
Then they must have not done a destruction one.
They didn't do destruction.
Yeah.
They had they obviously had a Stormcast one, right? Did they have Stormcast?
I don't remember. I'd have to look. I think it was Seraphon last year.
Yeah, it was Seraphon, Soulblight Gravelords, Ozzy Bone Reapers, and Slaves to Darkness.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, our editor will put it up on the screen.
That's me.
That's him. He's the editor.
Yeah, I'll put it up on screen.
I can say that all the time because I do that on the Sunday show. Anyway.
Yeah. Future me, put it on the screen. Here. Don't tell me what to do.
First up, we're going to cover Cities of Sigmar. I said it on the Sunday show, but almost all of these are brand new, refreshed models, and that feels kind of good.
Yes.
But the first one, Cities of Sigmar, entirely new. We have the Free Guild Marshal at 130 points and $45. The Fusel Major on Warhulk, which is 180 points and $58. The Free Guild Command Corps, which is 190 points and $58. The Free Guild Fusiliers at 120 points and $60. The Ironwell Great Cannon at 130 points and $58. And the Free Guild Cavaliers at 170 points and $65. That is quite a few units.
Yeah.
Totals out to 920 points and $344. From what Josh was saying, this is a really good box.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have the cities of the humans, and then you have the elves and the dwarves, and obviously the humans have gotten a little more love recently.
Yes.
R.I.P. dwarves and elves. But, like, Fusiliers are really strong. Who doesn't love a great cannon? The guy in the Warhulk is reportedly very good.
Mm-hmm.
And because these are newly refreshed models, it's really easy to just, like, slot them in with the stuff you already have. Or if you're getting a new faction, this is 900 points.
Yeah.
This is a really good box.
This is a 1,000-point game easily.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one because it gives you a little bit of everything.
That's
like
fair.
Especially if you're like looking at it from a model and standpoint perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to get bored of any one model getting 40 of them in one box. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, gives you a little great cannon, a little Fusiliers, a little Cavaliers, and apparently cavalry are very strong right now. So.
Yeah, we don't know the price on the boxes yet, obviously, because we won't know for a while. But we kind of based them on last year's prices and then just kind of current prices for Battleforce boxes, which is around the $230 mark. I know last year the AOS ones were cheaper, though. I don't remember exactly.
I believe they were $10 cheaper. I think they were $220.
Yeah, and I think that was only the case for 3 out of the 4. I know one of them was...
Really? I thought they were all...
I think one of the Age of Sigmar prices was different. I might be wrong on that, but they were cheaper.
Yeah.
So, but we just did it for the 230 mark just to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And these ones is about 33% savings.
Mm-hmm.
So, not bad. It's about their standard discount box rate.
Yeah, they've been putting out a lot more Battleforces recently, and this is pretty in line with it.
Yeah. Next one is the Flesh Eater Courts. We've got the Grand Justice Goremain. He is $42 and 110 points. And then we've got Crypt Flayers times 2. That's 2 kits of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have a couple different build options. They also have Crypt Horrors, so the points on those fluctuate a little bit. But 340 points for what they're saying they are, and they are $60 each. So 60 times 2, $120 worth of Crypt Flares right there. Then there's the Crypt Guard, which is just their little rank and file type units for 120 points or $52 for 10 models. And then you get 2 kits of the Morbeg Knights for $60 each, so $120 there. And those are 170 points each. That's for 3 of them, right? For 3 models?
Yeah, so the Flares and the Morbeg Knights are both 3 model kits.
Yeah, so 170 for 3 models, multiply that by 2, yeah. So a total of 910 points or $334, bringing us to, again, 33% roughly.
This one is kind of interesting because they have such a small pool. Like there's other than characters, there's only like 5 things in this faction that aren't in this box.
Right.
If that. From what I hear about it, all the new stuff is good. The Crypt Flayers are definitely showing their age a little bit because they were out in old world times. And I'm surprised they're still around. I thought the Morbeg Knights were getting rid of them.
I'm surprised they put them in this box because like when you put them up next to like their new stuff, it makes them look,
Yeah. I would have been okay with like, I don't know, 4 units of Morbeg Knights. Then you have 2 max units or 4 min units. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, or I was surprised with this faction, like, because what we've been seeing in a lot of Battleforces lately is they put the big centerpiece model in the box and then they surround it with a bunch of little cheap stuff. This would have been a good opportunity for that. I don't know how much the big guy is. I think he might be...
I think he's 160.
Yeah, he's around like the Demon Primarch level that we seen in the Chaos Space Marines from a couple of years ago. So I'm surprised they didn't do something like that. That was my guess for them.
It should be noted that this is the only one of the AOS boxes that has a named character in it. So they're going away from it a little bit, which is good. But yeah, and it's strange that this one has a named character, and it's not a large named character. It's just Gormain, a little tiny $42 foot hero.
Yeah, he's the guy with the powdered wig that's made out of intestines.
I hate his model so much.
It makes me uncomfortable.
I think that's what it's going for. But yeah, this one's a decently good deal. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them, but again, from a collection standpoint, like, I think it's where they got a refresh. I think it was just the end of last year, right? Or early this year, one of the two. It's still going to be one of those things where you're not going to be able to really avoid some of the old models. They didn't get that big of a refresh.
Yeah, it's weird because the Crypt Guard are basically like an upgraded version of the Crypt Ghouls, but the Crypt Ghouls are still in the faction.
Right.
Maybe they'll cut them when the book comes out, but I don't know.
I mean, that's just comparing it to like Cities of Sigmar, where you can build an entire army out of the new models. You don't have to buy any of the old dwarves or elves. You can, whereas this one, I don't think you can avoid it as easily.
Agreed. Another faction that got a very big refresh at the end of the last edition is Ironjawz.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to go over the stuff, and then I'm going to say why this one's funny. So, first you get your hero is the Tusk Boss on Maw Grunta, which is 280 points and $80. Could be built as... God, this whole section is going to be Maw Grunta with Hacken Crew, or the Maw Grunta Gougers for less points. So again, we went with the more expensive version. 2 units of Ardboys at 180 points each for $62.50. 2 units of Brute Ragers at 130 points each at $60 each. Those could also be built as Weird Brute Rekkas, which are just reduced by a few points. And the total is 900 points even for $325, which is actually the lowest savings out of all of these boxes.
Depending on price again.
Depending on price. So
it would still be lower than all of them.
Well, I mean, if this one is like $10 cheaper than all the AOS ones, like I could see it.
Yeah.
Here's why this is funny. The Tusk Boss on Maw Grunta can't take Ardboys or Brute Ragers in their regiment. So, in order to buy this box and play it as an army, you have to have between 2 and 4, depending on reinforced units, auxiliary slots. I find that very, very, very funny to me.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have just done like this would be more interesting if it was like 2 Tusk Boss kits and then like 2 units of Gorgruntas. And that would be, I mean, roughly the same. I didn't do the math on that. It might be more in line with the other ones. But it just feels weird that you get a character that can't use the guys underneath it.
Yeah.
Or you can build it as a non-character, but then you don't have a hero.
Right. See, I would just go the whole meme route, and they did release an article a while back that gave you an example list of how you could run all Maggotkin.
Yeah, you can run
So
all
give me
Maggotkin.
a Battleforce box that has, let's see, 80 divided by roughly $330. 4? Give me 4.
Yeah, just give you 4
Yeah.
Maggotkin.
Give me 4 Maggotkin. That would be closer to having a complete list than this one.
That's
Well,
true.
maybe not, but I'm being a little exaggerant. But it'd be funny.
It would be funny. I don't mind this because if you're like just getting into Ironjawz,
Yeah.
like again, this isn't this is kind of bad for a brand new player.
Yeah.
And it's if you already have all this stuff, but again, this stuff was just refreshed. This could be interesting. But if you're right in the middle, if you need another Magrunta and you could always use some more infantry, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's just really funny the way that they put it together.
All right, and then last we've got the Maggotkin of Nurgle. So this one is going to get you the Harbinger of Decay, which is 170 points at $60. And then we've got the Putrid Blight Kings, 190 points for $62.50. And then the Rotmire Creed, which is the interesting part about this box,
Yeah.
for $62.50 and 130 points. And then you get 2 boxes of the Pusgoyle Blightlords for 250 points each, 500 points total, and $79 each, so $158, bringing us to a total of 990 points and $343.
Which is pretty in line with the other ones.
Yes.
It is the highest points-wise. And interestingly, you can build the Blightlord, the Pusgoyle Blightlords. God, I hate saying these words sometimes. The Pusgoyle Blightlords. You can build a character out of each one. And those are 220 points per character. So if you want to get like maximum bang for your buck, you can build 2 extra characters and have 1 unit of regular Blightlords, and it would put you at 1,180 points, which blows all of the other ones out of the water.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not going to be very good because
Sure.
that's like 3 drops, and you only have 3 units. 3 characters and 3 units at 1,000 points. This one does seem to be pretty strong. So yeah, the Harbinger of Decay is one of the only priests in your faction, and honestly, what are they called? Prayers.
Yeah.
I almost said priesty points.
Priesty points.
Prayers are really strong right now because they feel really good. So he's, fast for Nurgle because he's on a horse, and he's a priest, and he looks awesome. I actually like that a lot. Blight Kings are always good, just like standing there and not dying.
Yeah.
I've heard the Rotmire Creed, which is a Warcry warband, by the way.
Which is why it's weird.
Is really competitive. Like, people are taking it just because it's a fairly decent, cheap option. And then I was saying this on the Sunday show, the Pusgoyle Blightlords are one of the meanest, memeiest lists that you can do in Sigmar right now. Because you can have, there's one of the sub-factions that lets you, in your deployment phase, teleport 2 units of flying Nurgle models off the board and put them 9 inches from your opponent's line.
Ooh.
Which is really mean. So you get 2 units of 4 because they're 4 models per unit max. So you get 2 units of 4. You teleport them directly in front of your opponent, and if you go first, you just charge them.
Yeah, turn
And
1
if-
charge.
If you don't go first, the farthest they can move forward is 9 inches, and your Nurgle, you're probably not gonna die.
Right.
So this one's probably pretty good competitively, and also points-wise, and also decent price-wise.
Yeah.
This is great.
I mean, the Blightlords, or the Pusgoyle Blightlords are literally a quarter of your list.
Yeah, they're a quarter of your list. They're $80 a box, and you get 2 boxes in here. This is a crazy good deal. Again, not a fan of Nurgle. I don't like Nurgle. My least favorite god. This box is good.
Just going back on they're putting another Warcry warband in it, and like I don't think Warcry is going away, but it is like at a weird point right now. So like they put a Warcry warband in the Seraphon box last year.
Yeah.
So that one was pretty interesting, and then Slaves of Darkness just lost all of theirs, and a couple of them went away, like they're not being made anymore. So like Warcry's at such a weird like point right now. It's one of those things, if you buy this box and you like the models and stuff like that, just run them as something else. I don't know enough about Maggotkin of Nurgle to know what they could run as, but yeah, that one throws this box off a little bit for me.
It is a little odd. Granted, they're like legal in Age of Sigmar. They're perfectly fine to play. They're we've only seen one book so far, and I don't think Skaven had a Warcry warband, did they? I can't think of one.
I don't think so.
So we don't even know what the book is going to look like for these.
That's true. I'm coming from a very doom and gloom standpoint on that.
I am of the opinion that Warcry is on its deathbed. But then they put out more rules for the stuff that came out recently, so maybe I'm wrong. But like,
it could have just been a personal stab at Slaves to Darkness because they had so many warbands.
They had the most, and to be fair.
They didn't have Dark Oath at that point, or they had very old Dark Oath models, so Dark Oath filled in that void that they needed as a cheap chaff unit to walk around that didn't cost 300 points. So maybe that was just a one-time thing, but until then...
Yeah, who knows?
It's a pretty good box.
It's a pretty good box. I like that.
It's a really good box, actually. But anyway, yeah, that's been it. 4 boxes for Sigmar this year, same as last year. All seem like a pretty good deal. All seem like a pretty good place to start. Mm-hmm. So if you like all of the models in all of these boxes, you're going to get a good value out of it, as far as GW expensive plastic goes, at least.
Yeah, fair. The only one that's a little weird is the Flesh Eater Courts having Gormain. Like, they could have put a non-named character in there. Mm-hmm. Then they would have all matched. But, I mean, $42 isn't too bad.
Yeah.
These are all great boxes. The points values on all of these is great. The lowest is 900 points, so they're all a really good like start to the faction, get you halfway to a list. Mm-hmm. I like all these a lot.
Yeah.
And with the new edition of Sigmar having just come out, it's a great time to get in.
Absolutely. But until then,
bye.
Bye.